Welcome to the Puppet Enterprise 3.8 Upgrade Series. The scope of this video is to cover pre-3.3.2 version upgrades to Puppet Enterprise 3.3.2, which will be the staging area for the next video that you will be able to watch to go from 3.3.2 to Puppet Enterprise 3.8, which is our new version. So for the purposes of this video, my Puppet Master is on PE 3.2.2, but the same instructions will apply in prior versions. Something you will want to note for any upgrade you do in this series is we always recommend snapshotting your master or your split installation before any upgrade, as well as taking a backup of the database. That way you'll have a database backup and a snapshot that you can roll back to in case of any problems that might arise. There will be Postgres changes from pre-3.3.2 versions. However, whichever version of PE 3.2 or 3.1 or even 3.0, you can jump right to 3.3.2. It may take some time as some of those changes go through, but that upgrade is both possible and the best way to go forward. And then once you're at 3.3.2, as I said before, you can progress on to 3.8. So I'm using Vagrant for this. I'm going to go ahead and get the installer going. So it's detecting that I'm on 3.2.2, and it's going to upgrade me to 3.3.2. A lot of the questions have already been answered since this is an upgrade, and it's asking me to confirm the plan. This is an all-in-one, a monolithic master, so I have the Puppet Master, the DB, and the console, as well as the provisioner of the agent, all inside of this box. I'm going to go ahead and say yes to perform the upgrade. There will be some deprecation warnings that'll flash by pretty soon here. Setting module path is deprecated in your Puppet Conf. You will now need to set a base module path, and there will be a link to take a look at that. Another thing to note is the package type's allow_virtual parameter will be changing its default value from false to true in future releases. If you do not want to allow virtual packages, please explicitly set allow_virtual to false. And there'll be a note about that. Another thing to note as well, all the classification work you've done prior to 3.3.2 will carry over to 3.3.2. And in the next video, we'll also mention the node classification migration tool, which will help you export your node classifier work into a JSON file that you can later import back into PE 3.8 to ensure that all of your node groups and classifications are sort of moved in situ to the new version. So now it's upgrading all of the packages in PE. Something you may also want to do, depending on which version of PE you're upgrading to 3.3.2 from, is go ahead and look at the known issues as well as the documentation around PE 3.3.2. Even though it'll be a staging area for you to go from there to 3.8, it still may be a good idea for you to note any existing documentation we have concerning 3.3.2 so that you're not caught off guard by any of the changes, as well as the notes for the 3.8 version that you will be eventually going to, so you can prepare some of your other code around your modules and things like that for our future parser and other tooling. And if your pre-3.3.2 is a split install, you'll upgrade the components in the order of your master node, and then your DB node, and then your console node. And you'll upgrade in that order for each part of the path. So pre-3.3.2 to 3.3.2, and then from there onwards to 3.8. Please note as well, if you have any very complex or high availability or one of our enterprise readiness installations or a large environment installation, you will definitely want to look into our professional services documentation as well as our resources around that in order to proceed with your upgrades. Another thing to note, if you're coming from a pre-PE 3.3.2 version, is that we've added some console prune tasks that will run via cron job that will make sure that your console continues to be pruned. There is actually a really great blog entry as well about maintaining your Puppet Enterprise console in DB. Also note that, as I may have stated before, the length of this particular upgrade will depend on which version of PE3 you're on. If you're pre-3.2.2, you may notice a significantly longer time upgrading, as there were some major Postgres changes from 3.1 to 3.2, and those will be encapsulated in the upgrade to 3.3.2. So, okay, so the upgrade is now complete. We'll run a Puppet -- version, and we are now on Puppet 3.6.2, which is Puppet Enterprise 3.3.2. And we'll do a Puppet agent -t, which is a Puppet run. It gives us a note about deprecation of the module path, and also the allow virtual parameter that I mentioned before. And the run's complete. So congratulations, you are now on PE 3.3.2, and you can move along to watching our video that'll take you from PE 3.3.2 to our latest and greatest version of PE, which is PE 3.8. Thanks again for watching.